Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. Here I am with another important lecture on English language, which is parts of speech, and I assure you that after watching this video till the end, you will be quite confident in using parts of speech correctly, and you will be having your spoken or your language error free. But before we move on to the lecture, I would request you to subscribe my channel. The button is right in front of you, and to like and share my video as well. As you know that each language is made up of words, and these words have been assigned certain jobs. So in English, these words have been grouped under these 8 parts of speech, and they have certain specific role to perform. We call them parts of speech, and they have some specific function, and knowing this specific function is really important. And in order to write a correct and error-free language, it's compulsory to know their role and use them correctly. You cannot put an adverb at the place of verb, or a preposition wrongly, or an interjection at the place of some conjunction. So you have to be really clear about the use of this parts of speech. Now let's begin. Words are actually the naming words. They can be the name of some person like Ali and Sarah. They can be the name of something like table, chair or bag. They can be the name of some place like hospital, England, or they can be name of some animal. So we call them noun. Now look at this example. The bolded words are the examples of nouns. Sarah is in London now. So Sarah and London are the example of noun. Sarah is name of a person and London is name of a place. The cat is under the table is an example of noun again. I would like to introduce 2 very important noun types to you: concrete versus abstract. Concrete are the nouns which can be perceived by your senses. You can see them, touch them, hear them, watch them or listen them. The examples are photograph, music, rose, etc. On the other hand, abstract nouns are the names of your feeling, your quality or your characteristics like beauty, honor, wisdom. You can feel them but you cannot touch them. Always to use a pronoun, so we can replace a noun by using a pronoun. Now look at the example. Sarah is in the garden. She is watering the plant. Here I have replaced name Sarah with she, which is a pronoun. So let's talk about the types of pronoun. The pronouns given in this column, they always come in the beginning of the sentence. So they are called subjective pronouns. On the other hand, these all pronouns, they come at the place of an object, so they are called objective pronoun. And these 2 columns in green and yellow, they show the ownership, so they are called possessive pronoun. On the other hand, this last column talks about the pronouns which are actually referring back to the subject. The example is she did it herself. Herself is again telling us about the subject. So it's a reflexive pronoun. It reflects something, reflects something. Now in this example, I gifted her some flower. The pronoun I is a subjective pronoun while her is an objective pronoun. Now here they invited us. They is a subjective pronoun while us an objective pronoun. And it's their car. There is a possessive pronoun. So I'm sure that you're going to keep these types of pronoun in your mind and use correctly. Now we always need to describe a noun or a pronoun, and adjectives are the words which talk about either the quality of a noun or the size of a noun or pronoun, or about number or the possession. Look at the example. He has a white car. So white tell us about the quality of car. Now he has a big car. So big talks about the size of the car. He has many new white cars. So here The number is also there, and there is a list of adjectives. We call them adjective phrase. It's his car, so his is telling us about the possession. When we are using such many adjectives in a phrase or an adjective phrase in a sentence, we need to follow certain order. The order is opinion, adjective will be placed first, then size, then age, then shape, then color, then nationality, and then material. And if you don't have some in between, then you skip that place. Look at the example. She loves that really big, old, green, antique car that always parked at the end of the street. So really big is an opinion, old is the age, green is the color, and antique is telling us about the nationality of it. Now, my sister adopted a beautiful white dog. Now, this is again in the order prescribed by this list. So, always use an adjective before a noun or pronoun, and please follow the. Another very important part of speech is a verb, and many words in English language, they are actually verbs. Verbs, they can tell us about the time, like they can be in present, they can be in past, or they can be in future. She fights for women's right. Here fight is the main verb. I'm planning a picnic. Here planning is the main verb, while am is the auxiliary verb. So auxiliary verbs, they help a main verb to give a particular sense. Verbs can show a state as well, like I am ill. So am is telling the state of me that I'm ill. You are busy. So our helping verb, auxiliary verb, is telling us about the state. And other very important type of verbs which have a very key role in English grammar, they are transitive verb and intransitive verb. Transitive verbs are the one which need a proper object to convey their sense. On the other hand, intransitive verbs can go without an object. Look at the example. They sold the tickets. So until you place this object ticket, your sentence will be not complete or not finished. He kicked John. If you don't place this object, your sentence will be incomplete. On the other hand, transitive verbs can go without an object. I sneeze. It's complete. She eats before leaving for school. Here, eats an intransitive verb. So, some of the verbs can behave like a transitive verb, or they behave like an intransitive verb. Another very important area where we mostly mistake are the stative verb. Stative verbs are the verbs which are listed here, and they cannot be made into a progressive form. Like you cannot say I'm agreeing with you. She was believing. The correct thing is she believed him. I doubt, that's true. It's a correct way, and doubting is wrong. So shortly, for these, you cannot use an ing form. So please remember this thing. Another very important type of verbs are modal verbs. They are actually auxiliary verbs which come with the main verb, and they donate certain sense to the sentence. When you say should, it means you are suggesting somebody. You should consult a doctor. You are suggesting. When you use can, it means you are talking about ability. My sister can speak 6 languages. When you say might, it means that you are talking about some probability. It might rain today. So modal verbs, they render a certain sense when they are placed with a certain main verb. Phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are really very important, and they are used in modern language. They are verbs fixed with some preposition and with some certain meaning. I'll be talking about them in some of my upcoming video. So I hope that you are much enlightened about the use of verb. But verbs alone cannot give a proper sense. Are helped by an adverbs. So adverbs always add some more information to a work done. They can be adverb of manner when they tell us that how some work is done. She passed the exam easily. So this easily is showing how the passing work was done. Ly adverbs are mostly such adverbs. On the other hand, adverb of place tells us about where something happened. Adverb of frequency shows how often something happened. Then adverb of time tells us that when something happened. Adverb of purpose tells us that why something happened. So this is always having some adverb of purpose, like because I was late, I jogged a little faster. Since it's your birthday, I will buy you a gift. So this is giving us some reason. The way adjectives are having some order, adverbs also follow this particular order. First, you are going to put an adverb of manner, then place, then frequency, then time, and then reason and purpose. Now, look at the example given. The teacher gives instruction loudly, adverb of manner, in the class, place, at the end of the day, frequency, as the student prepare to go home, reason or purpose. So it's always better and correct to follow the order of an adverb wisely. Now, conjunctions are another very important parts of speech. They are actually connecting words, phrases and clauses together. They can be coordinating, the list is there, when they are connecting two equal sentences, two independent clauses. They can be subordinating when they are connecting an independent clause to a dependent clause. Although we had plenty to eat, we were still hungry. So the part with conjunction is a dependent clause and the other is an independent clause. So this conjunction is called a subordinating conjunction. Or they can be correlative conjunction when they are used in pair. Either you can sit here or you can go out. Okay, conjunctions can be taken as connecting adverbs, and when they are connecting adverbs, they are performing several basic roles in the sentence. Like they can be used to add some further information like also, furthermore or moreover. Opposition, however, nevertheless, on the other hand. However, I like cold weather, but I am quite good in summer as well. Reinforcing, decide anyway after all. When you want to explain something, you can use these connectives. For example, in other words, that is to say, when you are listing something, then you are going to use these conjunctions. Firstly, first of all, finally. When you want to indicate some results, then you are going to use these conjunctions. Therefore, consequently, as a result. And when we are indicating time, you can use these conjunctions. The purpose of talking about these conjunctions is to make you aware of using all these adverbial connectives and conjunctions properly in your sentences, so that your whole writing is having a cohesion and there is a good flow in your writing. So please be mindful when you are writing something, when you are speaking something, use these conjunctions. Now, prepositions are actually an area of grammar where mostly we are lacking and we make mistake as well. Preposition actually link a noun phrase to rest of the sentence, and it can describe about a place. She is in the garden. So in the garden is linked with in. The garden is a noun phrase. My bag is on the bench. So the bench is a noun phrase which is linked with this preposition on. Preposition can tell us about time as well. He has gone for a week. Don't store during eating. And it can show some method. I will invite them by an email. So the method of invitation by an email. Inform us in writing. Some prepositions are in front of you, like preposition on can be used with dates and days, like on August, on Tuesday. At can be used with the locations and time, at the airport or at 3 o'clock. To can be used with places like to work, to downstairs. And for can be used when we're talking about some purpose, for lunch, she has gone for lunch, for my boss. From and to, they talk about some starting and ending date. He'll be in London from December 12 to December 17. So I'm sure that now you are pretty sure about the use of preposition to some extent, and above all, now you will be conscious to put a correct preposition, because a wrong preposition always mars your sentence sense. So in order to have a standard language, you need to have a good grip on preposition. Past conjunction is taken as grammatically unimportant because they are mostly used in spoken English and they express actually emotions. We call them interjections. Interjections, look at hurrah, we won the match. It's an emotion of joy. Look at the punctuation. After hurrah, there is an exclamatory mark placed, and after the sentence there is not a full stop, there is again an exclamatory mark. Alas is an emotion of sorrow. Wow, an emotion of surprise. So there is a list to help you know about some very common interjection. Nowadays using these emojis are quite common, but such cannot be used in our writing. So you need to have a good grip on these interjections. Are made by us, and I'm sure that we'll be now, after watching this, be much careful about use of these parts of speech. I came to office by walk. It's incorrect. The correct is I came to office on foot. What is the time in your watch? In is wrong. The correct preposition is by. What is the time by your watch? Our classroom is in the second floor. So in is again wrong. It will be I classroom is on the second floor. He has white hairs. So white is not correct at all. He has grey hair. I prefer coffee than tea. We use it mostly, but it is not correct. I prefer coffee to tea is correct. Well, viewers, I hope that you have liked my today's video. And if you have liked it, then please subscribe my channel right now and press the bell icon so that you can be aware about my upcoming videos. And I will be definitely waiting for your sincere and good comments for my improvement. Best and